Why are you really here? Your soul remembers the truth of your soul purpose and higher calling. But now it's time for you to consciously remember that right now, right here. Hey Earth Angels, Melanie Beckler here, and in this video I am excited to share with you the 5 steps you can take to finally remember the truth of your soul's calling and purpose for your being here as a spiritual being incarnate in physical form to live and serve and thrive in your life. So the first step in remembering the truth of your soul's calling is to quite simply take a step back. It can be incredibly overwhelming and heavy when you begin to realize, I have a soul mission and purpose, I have a soul calling, but I don't know what it is. And so to begin remembering it, it's so incredibly helpful to just take a step back. And this actually has a couple of layers of meaning, because when you step back, you allow yourself to observe your life not only from the vantage of lower consciousness and of your personality self, but you're able to step back to observe from a place of higher divine intelligence. And when you step back into that space, you can begin to remember that the huge overarching soul calling and purpose for the reason why you're here is to remember, is to journey from being separated, from perceiving yourself as completely separate from spirit, into remembering the underlying truth that you are interconnected with all things and in every moment from a different view and a different vantage. You are directly connected to the infinite, to the divine, and to all things. And honestly, if you only remembered the truth of your connection with spirit in this life, if you only remembered that you have the ability to embody a higher level of divine truth, that would be an incredibly big success in terms of accomplishing your soul's calling and soul's purpose. So yes, there are specific things that you can do while you're here. Yes, there are specific goals and specific types of work that you are here to fulfill. But overarching that is the truth that your soul purpose for being here is to remember who you really are. And not from the vantage point of lower consciousness, but from the vantage point of the higher divine mind. To remember that you are a divine light being incarnate in physical form, and you can now choose to bring more of your light and truth and embodied soul expression to the surface in your life to vibrantly thrive. So a huge part of your soul purpose is to simply raise your vibration, embody more love, live in love, joy, truth, and gratitude. And you're able to do this by stepping back from the challenges of daily life to not only be in those challenges, but observe your life from the higher vantage point of divine intelligence. And when you do this, there's so much greater insight, inspiration, ability to be filled with spirit that allows guidance, insight, clarity about your next steps to flow through. But of course, you're not watching this to only hear about that big overarching reason for why you and for why all human beings are here. And I know that you want to know the specifics of your unique soul's calling. And to align with this, the second step that you can take is to begin to get clear and pay attention about what lights you up. Because I'm sure you've heard before that following the path of joy and bliss aligns you with the soul purpose for your life. There's a beautiful Joseph Campbell quote that I jotted down here. If you follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there the whole while, waiting for you, and the life you ought to be. But bliss can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're feeling disconnected. So start by asking yourself, what lights you up? What are the things you do that help you to feel alive, that help you to feel on track, that energize you, that you lose track of time doing? These are all things that hold the key to why you're really here. If you're really disconnected from what lights you up, think back and reflect back on, what did you love doing when you were a child? What did you used to do that was fun and rewarding and joyful, but that you've stopped doing for whatever reason? You can also ask, what part of your day do you feel most alive and vibrant? What things have you been doing that really recharge your energy? Get clear on these things because they hold clues and keys towards what can really begin to allow your soul purpose to unfold. I do want to clarify, though, that in most cases, this is not incredibly direct. And in fact, it's more often indirect. But doing more of what lights you up puts you on the track that allows the work you can do, the knowing of what else you can do to appear. So for example, if you're like, what lights me up is sitting in the forest meditating. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that your sole purpose is to be a Forest Service ranger where you have a lot of time in the forest meditating. However, when you recognize that being in the forest meditating lights you up and begin to prioritize that in your life, perhaps during a meditation amidst the trees, you receive a download, an inspiration for a next step you can take. Maybe for a poem about trees, or to write a book about trees, or for something much more abstract and less correlated to trees at all. But the point here is that by following what lights you up, you get on the track of remembrance for why your soul is really here. The next step, number 3, is to begin to release what is holding you back. So anytime as souls we begin to move on this path of our true soul purpose and calling, there is this sneaky thing, this sneaky little voice of ego and of resistance that arises. So you may have an idea for writing a poem about trees that really is actually on track. It then leads, once you write that poem, the next step will be able to be seen for how you can take a leap forward in understanding the truth of your reason to being here. But when you start writing that poem, your ego chimes in loudly and says, "You're being ridiculous. This is terrible. Who are you to do this? Who do you think you are? No one cares about what you're writing. The trees don't even like your poem." That kind of thing. That mean, loud, ugly, angry voice that perhaps is in your own internal voice, or you may even hear a parent or a sibling saying, "Your voice is terrible. You don't deserve that, blah, blah, blah." I'm telling you about this so you know to look for it, and when it appears, you know you can ignore it and push through and do the thing anyway. Because once you do it, on the other side of following through, something else is able to emerge and appear. Releasing what's blocking you and holding you back also relates to just the internal self-talk, the habits and patterns you're habituating that ultimately don't serve you. If you really want to uncover the truth of your soul's calling, take an inventory of the habits, patterns, perspectives that you're habituating in your life and ask yourself honestly, is this serving me in raising my vibration, in standing in truth, in living the life of joy and abundance and fulfillment that I truly am here to lead And if not, how can you begin to change some of those things to do more of what lights you up, less of what drains you, that puts you on this path of receiving the clear steps and guidance for you to take to allow more and more of your soul's calling to emerge. The fourth step to remembering your soul's calling may seem a bit counterintuitive, but it is to practice positivity and openness, to practice optimism, to tune in with gratitude to all of the blessings that are already around you, because this really does change your point of resonance and attraction, so that when you are open to the blessings of life already all around you, you also become open to new possibilities and new opportunities just waiting to appear, just waiting for you to vibrationally align with them so they're possible to flow through for you. Openness is also so key, because the call of destiny could literally be knocking at your door, and it could come in a form that you don't expect, of a friend inviting you to go do something. If you're closed, you'll say, no, that's not the sort of thing I normally like doing. I'm just gonna stay home and watch my shows. But when you go and do the thing, when you're open to what life is presenting to you, when you surrender to divine intelligence and surrender to the opportunities that are showing up to you in your life, listening to your inner call and pull and going with what feels right for you, saying yes to new opportunities as they arise, so many more blessings, surprises, hidden blessings, opportunities, possibilities that you can't even see now are able to emerge as a result. And then the fifth key step towards remembering your soul calling is to commit to being of service in the highest interest of all, because your soul mission and purpose, in addition to that overarching reason of embodying more of the divine truth of your highest light, is to be of service and make a difference in the world. And so when you commit to serving humanity, the earth, and others, every possibility in life can be filtered through that lens. You begin to see opportunities all around you to serve, to help others, to make a difference, to share inspiration. A great way to begin recognizing opportunities to serve that are in alignment with your purpose is to ask, how do I inspire other people? How am I already helping other people? What are the things I do that uplift those around me? How am I already making a difference in the world? Or how would I enjoy being of service? This isn't necessarily something that you're fully going to understand while watching this video. But when you start to take these 5 steps on a regular basis, when you embody the truth of your divine being, when you step back and observe from that vantage of higher divine mind, when you practice openness and give yourself permission to move in the direction of what lights you up, releasing the doubt and fears and blockages that are only weighing you down, when you commit to serving others in life in a way that lights you up and that you enjoy, possibilities emerge and you recognize them because you've been practicing openness. And so you're open to new inspiration coming in. And because you've been committed to empowering your habits and having the willpower to begin creating positive changes in your life, you then have the willpower to be able to act on that little inspiration, that when you act on it, the next step, the next facet of your purpose, the next doorway leading to new opportunities and new potentials for a deeper remembrance of who you really are and why you're really here is able to emerge. You do have a soul calling. You do have a soul mission, and you are fully capable of remembering what that is while you're here. It just takes embarking, moving through these 5 steps, staying open, and staying committed to not only recognizing why you're here and the unique soul work and life purpose and mission, but really about remembering who you really are. Because when you rediscover who you really are, why you're really here begins to naturally unfold. I hope this is helpful for you. I do have a free meditation on remembering your soul purpose that will be perfect to dive into to help you on taking that next step. I'll see you there. I love, honor, and appreciate you.